What is going on, guys? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and today I bring you another DMC related video. Looking at the title, you guys already know that it's going to be focused on the character Sparda. I want to be going over who he was, what he did, as well as posing some important questions as to where he is now, or why did he do the things he did. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So quickly running over what we know that Sparda is a full demon. He's one that woke up to justice, if we go by DMC 1's opening, who fought against the demon emperor Mundus, as well as the rest of the underworld, for humanity's sake, so that he could ensure their existence. And this idea of waking up to justice, of having a heart, of being capable of emotion, this idea that will provide you with an increased amount of strength, say over a standard demon, that is a theme that has ran throughout the entire series. It's an idea that's been discussed before. In fact, Dante brought it up himself before putting a bullet into Agnus, where he states that, of course, demons are physically more superior to humans, but humans just have that certain something that gives them the edge. Of course, we can see this because although we know that Sparda was insurmountably powerful, we know that Dante and potentially Virgil are much stronger than Sparda at this point, considering that they're half-blooded. Now, getting back on track here, following the defeat of Mundus, we know that Sparda took a considerable amount of measures to seal away his own power. So just listing things off, he decides to use his own blood, the blood of a human priestess, his sword, the Force Edge, or the Sparda essentially, a mystical amulet, the entire Temenigru Tower, which he decides to essentially jettison underground. But of course that's not enough, so he decides to imprison a bunch of gatekeepers, all the bosses from DMC 3, so Cerberus, Agni Rudra, all of those, and then he goes and takes the names of all the 7 sins and binds them essentially to Temenigru. So Sparda wanted nobody to get a hold of his power, but lo and behold DMC 3 happens and all that planning essentially was for nothing. And I've got to say that's rather funny because he didn't kill or vanquish Mundus, he just sealed him away. So he must have known that he'd be out at some point, out for revenge, out to take over the human world yet again. And Sparda, in all his infinite wisdom, decides to make the power able to smite Mundus so difficult to get a hold of.
Good plan, Pop.
Just the opposite, actually.
He's not the best at planning ahead, but I guess he got lucky because he had Dante and Virgil, who, as we know, are more than capable of taking down Mundus. And here's where things start to get a little tricky, because we have barely any material that makes reference to what the hell Sparda was actually doing before he met Ava. Now, of course, the first game's opening makes a reference to Sparda reigning over humanity in a sense. Now, I'm assuming this doesn't mean he was some sort of royalty or, part of a monarchy. I take this to mean that Sparda was essentially acting as humanity's protector, in the shadows. Wherever a demon would somehow manage to slip through into the human world, he'd be there to smite them and send them back to hell. Other than that, there is not much. We know that Sparda met Ava sometime during the 20th century, and he sired the twin sons, Dante and Virgil. And then sometime before the twins' 8th birthday, where they both got a half of the perfect amulet, Sparda just up and decides to leave, which makes no sense whatsoever. Because at this point, the seals that had held Mundus in had been in place for about 2 millennia, if we're going by what the DMC 1 opening states. The seals were beginning to weaken, demons were managing to get through, and that's how Ava had essentially died. Sparda was no longer there to protect her and the family, so Ava made sure that the twins were safe, and the demons got her instead. And that's why we get this dysfunctional family, because, well, Dante and Virgil witnessed the mother's death at the hands of demons at a rather young age, and there was nothing they could do. That's why Dante refuses to acknowledge the fact that he has a father in DMC 3 when, Virgil asks him about it.
Why do you refuse to gain power? The power of our father, Sparda.
Father? I don't have a father. I just don't like you. That's all.
So going through the entire franchise, they leave us with a lot of questions as to what exactly Sparda was doing. Why would he just up and leave his family in a time of need? Was he murdered and killed? Was he kidnapped? Was he sealed away? Was he just a deadbeat father who couldn't handle it? Maybe he got sick and tired of playing happy family, so he just up and left. At this point, we really should know, considering we're 5 games deep into the franchise, and this seems like a pretty important piece of lore that should be established, So that about wraps it up. Let me know if there's any discrepancies in the information, or if there's something I missed out. A comments down in the comments section would be gladly appreciated if I did get anything wrong. But other than that, I do want to know what you guys think, not just about the video, but about Sparda. He's touted as this mystical, untouchable person in the franchise's lore, but at this point, 5 games in, 17 years in, the fans deserve some answers. With that said, I would like to thank you for watching. If you'd like to discuss DMC further, or just like to speak about topics that are on your mind, I'll leave a link down to the channel's Discord in the description. If you want to get at me personally, I'll also leave a link to my Twitter there as well. It has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next video.